Hey, Brannon Beliso here. It is May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on the West Coast. This is Success Never Sleeps, and I am, once again, Brannon Beliso, where we as a collective of small business owners, in particular martial arts school owners, get together, we chop it up, we try to figure out this thing called life so we can scale and monetize our businesses to do the most simple of tasks, the most simple of goals: take care of ourselves, take care of our family, take care of our teams, give back to our community, and truly impact it with fulfilling our purpose and our core values. So who do we got coming aboard? As you come aboard, say hello. Today's just going to be a kind of a maintenance show, a little Q&A. I'm going to share my thoughts about the state of the industry, things I've been experiencing the past couple of weeks, from my trip to Boston, the things going on around us as well, and just kind of share some insight on what's going on, in the words of Marvin Gaye, right? What's going on? As you come aboard, tell us your name. Who are you? And as you do that, if you have a school, if you own a school, and you have questions on how you want to improve that school and better it, just hit us up in the comments and we'll give you a link. And we're going to bring you on the show, on the show, on the show. Conrad, Respect Martial Arts. What's happening, Sir Jason Smith? Believe Martial Arts, Chipley, Florida. So yesterday, I posted this, and as they say in the original song, Rapper's Delight. Anyone remember the original Rapper's Delight by the Sugar Hill Gang? That was the first rap song ever. I know I'm dating myself, but one of the lines is, I don't mean to brag, I don't mean to boast, but I will. Yesterday, I did a private school, was K through 8. There's about 330 people in this school. And they approached me several months back and said, hey, we've heard about the work you do, and we'd love to bring you out to our school. I said, really? And I asked, was there a budget? They go, yeah, we'll pay you $1,500, just an assembly with everybody in it. And I said, well, I don't think it would be very effective to do an assembly K through 8 because the information's different, the approach is different, the delivery is different. I will do K through 2, 3 through 5, and 6 through 8, 40-minute workshops, and I did 3 of them. And they said, well, would there be a difference in your price structure? I said, no, I'll happily do that. Happily. I mean, at $500 an hour, and I'm going to generate leads organically by doing the right thing, by offering true learning and offering an experience that will truly impact their lives and help them do what? Live their best life. I had no challenge with that. Plus, we were going to generate a whole lot of quality leads. There were so many teachers and people that are just going, wow, this blows me away. And I think that's what makes Kids Love Life Skills so unique and amazing. I remember a parent told me once, I said, well, how'd you hear about our school? They said, honestly, I was standing in a line at the grocery store and I saw a kid in a martial arts uniform, and they had these really cool badges on them: discipline, focus, confidence, family. And I said, I don't care if you teach my kid to bake chocolate chip cookies. If you're going to teach them those type of life skills, that skill set to help them be the best version of themselves, I want them in your environment. And that's the type of client, I believe, that's the type of lead I want to gravitate towards and cultivate. So yesterday, being at this school, they valued what I had to do. They paid me well for what I do. And the win-win is we'll generate some quality leads. So why do I say that? Well, because I believe so many of us sell ourselves short. I know we're taught to show up in August when the teacher development day, teachers are getting ready, right? Doing their lesson plans. You show up in your karate uniform with a box of donuts. Okay. All right. You go with your bad self. It's not something I would advocate for or recommend. It's obviously a smoke and mirrors tactic that you want to get in cahoots with them so you can get more students. James, how are you, my brother? Resilient Martial Arts from the Rocky Mountains. And we're looking for people to come on the show. If you got some questions to better your business, right? You get some free consultation right now. Hit up Marco, put it in the comments privately, and he will get you a link. And then you let me know, Marco, if somebody's there, okay? And so I'm not easily in awe, but when I have the opportunity to work for Fortune 500 companies like Meta that paid me incredible money, when I was flown to Korea for Kukiwon for the President's Summit, I was paid incredible money. When I went to Germany for a group out there, I was paid incredible money. It just makes me scratch my head where someone asked me to speak at their event. And I said, well, I think what would be fair is you give me a booth in exchange. And they said, no, we'll charge you for your booth. So I said, let me get this straight. I'm going to pay my airfare. I'm going to pay my hotel. I'm going to be away from my family with the premise that I will potentially get new clients if I buy a booth at your event and you graciously allow me to speak for free. I went, wow, that's just, I'm going to say it's ass backwards, you guys. And I believe that's why our industry continues to suffer, because the real information we need to better our businesses, to better our lives, whoever's putting the event on is going to have to pay for it. It's that simple, right? Yet they're not willing to. It's kind of like this pay to play thing I went through when I was slugging it out in the clubs and rock bands, right? And in that time, I said, let me get this straight. You don't care how good we are as musicians. You don't care how well or how poorly we play. All you care is if I can sell 75 tickets. And by the way, if I don't sell them, I eat the cost and I still have to pay the club owner. You're going to put me on this ticket. They said, absolutely. That's sad. That's sad. As far as an artist goes, I found that very sad. Yet that was the environment we were offered back in the day when I played in rock bands. And it perpetuates today in our industry. Events are done all the time and all the speakers are not paid with the guys that we're going to get potential clients from it, and it gives you exposure. Well, at some point, I believe we need to turn that corner. And if you're an authority at what you do, you should be charging for what you do. You with me? I hope everybody's with me on that, because I'm extremely passionate about that at this point in my life. And when I walk into places like that yesterday, a school, right, which any school owner would do for free because they believe they're going to generate leads, right? Is that about right? Am I wrong in saying that? I'm being inundated with paid offers from nonprofit organizations since we've been focusing on serving community. Yeah, just offered $2,500 for a woman's self-defense class, 2 hours. There you go, James. That's a beautiful day, man. That's a beautiful day, right? And I dig that kind of stuff. And if we continue to nurture and do our research and we're on the cutting edge and we're relevant and then whatever we're offering them is good quality learning, then we should get paid whatever we believe we should be paid. So I kind of went on that rant because I'm very passionate about that. Cool. All right, let's thank our sponsors. Then I have a couple of school owners that want to come on and I'm going to get them in here. Our sponsors are Tusai. They supply equipment and uniforms for the Olympians in Taekwondo in the Olympics, and they've now branched out heavier into the martial arts industry, martial arts and other arenas. And they are graciously one of my sponsors. They provide all of our t-shirts for our events, as well as provide for this show, Market Muscles. I just added the reviews page. If you don't have your reviews page set up at Market Muscles, please get it set up. Ask them. They'll set up the template, plug and play. Then it's very easy to add your reviews. That is something that they've been advocating for, and it's something we added into our Market Muscles website. I encourage you to add a reviews page. Cool? Make sure you do that. My studio, simply the best. I mean, I can never say enough. They're always innovating. And I think it's much like Photoshop. I know about 5% of Photoshop, and technology moves so much faster than the average Joe, which makes it challenging to keep up with all of the different features. Most recently, TJ and I are tightening up our automations. So once a trial becomes a member, making sure they get an automated set of emails saying, view the videos on the app for curriculum, sign up for our free events, make sure you communicate with us through the push notifications because we'll answer more efficiently. Just the fundamental things like that in an automation that you can kind of set it and forget it is very powerful. Kids of Life Skills. I can't believe we've been around since 2007. I just saw a post on that. And we currently serve schools worldwide. And once you can position yourself, as I did yesterday, as this life skills educator, and sure, we did some basic self-defense, how to stop, how to cover up, how to back off, push people away. We did that. We covered that. But it's really, I think what separates us is if you can position yourself as a investment for their child's future. One of my taglines we're using heavily that I originally got from Adam at Dojo Launch, but he took it from everything I had written. And it's going to be, it's more than martial arts. It's an investment in your child's future. Write it down, take it, use it. I'm happy to let you use that. Yeah, James, you should donate part of that back to a woman's shelter. I think it's a good day. It's a good day. It's a good day. And then, of course, LC Accounting, my sister Letitia, who's on vacation in Jamaica. It's so funny. I really don't move without her most of the time. Some things I stand strong on, but everything I do financially in the business, even in my own personal life, I run it by her. And all I want to know is, do we have the means? Do we have the means? I watch so many small businesses not write a budget, let alone they write the budget, they don't stick to it. You need to write that budget. You need to stick to that budget. And please be mindful of that. Be mindful of that. Okay. All right. Before we bring the first schooler on, I think we're bringing in Lorenzo Sandoval of Ageless Martial Arts. Again, I'm a huge advocate of storytelling. I'm an even bigger advocate of you writing stuff for yourself. Okay. Yesterday I saw it run amok. I guess yesterday was Small Business Day. Can somebody help me on that? Was yesterday Small Business Day? Put it there. And anybody else coming aboard, please tell me your name, where you're tuning in from. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Okay. Who saw the thing yesterday about with Small Business Day? Put it in the comments. I just want to make sure we're on the same page. And Marco, if you can find that and post it somewhere, do a screenshot, I'd appreciate that. And hey, folks, I'm getting out a little early today, about 11:50, because I'm going to pick up after schoolers. I do that every Friday, and I love it. I freaking love it. I love it. As a parent, when I go pick up those kids on Friday, because we chose not to hire a second driver right now, so it could go back into my pocket, it just made good sense, right? It's like 30 minutes of my day on a Friday. It's right here in my neighborhood. It's not a big deal. So put it in. There it is. Okay. So everybody saw that, right? The unfortunate truth of owning and running a business. Did anybody see that? Could you put it in there? Of owning and running a business. Running a business is really hard. So I saw a lot of school owners jump all over that and repost it, right? And they kind of put their picture in there. The sympathy card can work really well. I understand that. When you're cutting and pasting something that's been written by somebody else, it loses a lot of its authenticity. Hey, greetings from the plain of Western Oklahoma. Who is it? Oh, that's somebody new. And so getting back to you guys, when I read it, the first time I read it, I went, oh, well, that's kind of neat, and then I saw it again, and then I saw it again, and I saw it again, and I recognized it was either an AI generated post or people were simply cutting and pasting it and copying it. And hey, Chris, what's happening, sir? And for me, I'm going to tell you, it's weak as shit. Oh, did I say that? Did I say that? And I'm going to say that because to state that running a small business is really hard is the truth. But what makes it lose its authenticity for me, what made it lose its je ne sais quoi, that thing. When I read the first one, I was very endeared. I went, wow, I feel you, man. And I read through that thing and I was so heartfelt. And boom, I saw it again. 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 I think I've seen it maybe a dozen or even 24 times. And to state something so heartfelt and vulnerable, it's even to the point of where it's a victim mindset. It's so hard. It causes me stress and and I'm sorry, you guys, please don't do that. I'm going to say it. And again, it's not my life, man. You want to freaking do it? Do it. I don't advocate for that at all, at all, at all. So I turned around this morning and I wrote my own. And if you put it side by side with this thing here, I believe what I had to offer is more positive, more engaging, more inspirational. And who am I addressing that to? See, that's the big thing. Who am I writing that to? Am I writing it to the mom with a 6-year-old kid, or what I wrote was for the fellow entrepreneur, small business, and martial arts school owner? Well, you do the math. So when you take this thing, the unfortunate truth, that thing, where were you posting it? Did you post it at your business page? Did you post it for parents to see? Did you post it in parenting groups? Where did you take it and post it? See, that's the other thing that I think is extremely ill-fated about that. You with me? Anybody with me? Tell me I'm nuts. You can tell me, right? You can. If you want to stand for that and you believe that was a good thing to do, then tell me I suck. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. But like Jason said, he did it first. I was going to at first for a minute. I thought it was pretty cool, and then no, I was never going to post it. I'd be lying to you if I tell you I did. I'm just trying to make you feel better, Jason, and say, yeah, bro, I'm with you. I posted it too. No, I'd be lying if I told you I would have posted it. No, I would have never posted it. I wouldn't have. You guys have great stories to tell, and if you want to share that, fine. So somebody came back at me, and I think I'm going to do a follow-up post, right? And they said, easy for you to say, because you make all the money now and you're successful. You forgot who you were. And I said, well, ye who's not real happy, I'm going to share with you. In 2020, and I've shared this openly, in 2019, I took home about $700,000 after all my expenses were paid, right? In 2020, I took home $160,000. That is the life of an entrepreneur. You deal with the good and the bad. I also dealt with the time my sister died, and a day later, I'm sitting there crying behind my door, putting on my uniform, trying to step on the mat and teach because I had to. I didn't have a team. That is the life of an entrepreneur. So make no mistake, I understand both, but it was my rebuttal to the people who are simply cutting and pasting such an intimate feeling of stress and anxiety and running a small business, yet you can't articulate it in your own words. And for something so personal as your own personal anxiety and stress of running a small business, you can simply placate it with a cut and paste. I'm going to challenge you to go back, rewrite it on a heartfelt level, and then you post it. That's me. All right. So, we're going to think about shifting our show format into something a little more intimate. Each week, I want to bring on a different school owner. See, the only reason I don't bring people on my show is the fact that I don't want to, cycle through everybody. Right. And you watch it. Every podcast has the same group. I've guested on many of those podcasts, the same group of people cycling through. Why am I not an advocate for that? Because if we're truly going to move our schools in the direction, an industry, let's go bigger, an industry as a whole, we need to get information outside our industry. That's the long and short of it. What is it? 3% of the population? I don't even know the number. What is the number, the percentage of the population that does martial arts? Who could put it in the comments? Anyways, it's appalling. I think everybody should do martial arts, yet a very small percentage do, because I believe our presentation, I believe our methodology, I believe our basis for our curriculum, I believe our marketing, I believe our lack of business education, I believe our lack of understanding innovative cultures and branding and everything else is why our business continues to suffer. Why the average school owner puts zero money into their personal development, I don't know. But so I don't want to bring on the same old people week after week after week as they run the circuit of podcasts and shows and they just simply regurgitate it through, right? Nor am I going to align myself with some cool and hip guy who wrote a book out there to simply say, look at me, I have credibility. I see that a lot too, and I understand. I think it's lame. Stand on your own merits, get out there and suck, get out there and do your best, get out there and earn your place. Earn your place out there. And I think that's really important if we're going to be genuine and authentic and give the type of information that can really impact our industry. Really, 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 really. Cool. All right. So did I say enough about that? I think so. So the new format, I think we're going to experiment with. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, then tell me we suck and we'll pivot and find a new way. But that's what disruption is about. I want to bring on the small school owner every week. Now, it's not a new idea, but if you sit with me, it could be a very new idea. Okay. So if you want to be on the show and you own a school and you have questions and challenges, reach out to Marco and we'll get you scheduled in. Okay. And who knows? Who can think of a new name for the show? Should we still call it Success Never Sleeps? I don't know. All right, Marco, let's bring on this first young man. Lorenzo Sandoval of Ageless Martial Arts in Las Vegas. How you doing today, Lorenzo? I cannot hear you, Lorenzo. You need to unmute yourself. Somebody help him, please.
Sir, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you now, Lorenzo. How's it going, sir?
I miss you, sir.
Yeah, I miss you too. I saw you a couple of weeks ago in Boston. I'm glad you took a
Yeah.
moment to come on the show, man. Give me a question. What's going on?
So I'm afraid to ask, honestly, because
Well,
so
fear is a great motivator. I mean, if I'm not afraid a little bit every day, then I'm not living
I'm
my
always afraid
life.
of you, sir. I'm always afraid to ask you
I mean, no, I
questions.
mean just life in general. We take chances, we take risks, we can blow through money, we can make bad moves. If you haven't blown money, you're not a good entrepreneur. Everybody put in the comments who's blown money on their business. We all have. That's part of the course. That's just part of the course. So
So,
what's the question you're afraid to ask me, sir?
um, delivery as far as curriculum. How do you get people to deliver the same style of curriculum, even though it's the same curriculum? How do you get people to deliver it, the brand, like the delivery of the way it's taught?
Yeah, that's really easy. Sleep deprivation, lock them in a dark closet, and bombard them with loud metal music. No, I
Sir,
mean, for us, in our culture,
sir, real fast. I'm sorry, coach. I just want you to meet the U.S. Olympic coach for the karate team.
cool. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so sorry. Go ahead, Professor.
I think it starts from the ground up. We know the best team in our industry, the majority across the board will always be homegrown. That data still stands true for the most part. Once in a while, if you're a Taekwondo school, you get some guys who come over from Korea. I think it's Taekwondo is offered in high school and college now. You can get a degree in Taekwondo, unless you're lucky enough, like two of them have great people on their team. And they're all imports, right? They're all imports. That homegrown is the best way to go. But I think defining who you are, what is the purpose in your school, and then be consistent with that message, right? We're very, very consistent in our staff training. I sat there last night with a bunch of 13 and 14-year-olds talking to them how teaching an in block helps a student live their best life. And they looked at me like, what? You're not TikToking. I don't get you. But it was that process of discovery to help them discover what it really means to live your best life. A couple of weeks ago, we had a black belt test. The average kid had been there 8 years, not
Yeah,
the
that's
four,
crazy.
not the 4 years it takes to get a black belt. 8 years, and so people really view us as an investment. So this is the type of stuff we discuss because the front
But
people
but
are
but my question is, sir, is how are you getting them to teach in your style? Because everyone is different, right? Even though the curriculum's the same.
no,
Because I
well,
could
I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's a mindset of living your best life. They culturally have drank the Kool-Aid, man. They get it.
don't say that, sir.
Well, I mean,
Don't.
for the lack of a better word, right? For the lack of a better word, I know people don't like that, but that's the extreme of it. When
Yeah,
Jim Jones could get all these damn people to drink Kool-Aid and die, mass suicide, that's the extreme. So when I use that terminology, I don't mean to be derogatory or
I don't think you're a Jim
demoralized.
Jones. I'd say you're more of a Gandhi, sir.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying a lot of time when I use that sarcastically, drink the Kool-Aid, people go,
Yeah,
"What? A lot of innocent people died with Jim Jones." I understand that. I don't want to ever. I remember that being a young boy when that happened on the news. I would never trivialize that. But what I'm saying is when you get people not to buy into what you do, Lorenzo, you get
yes, sir.
people to believe in what you do. Believe in what you do. Everything changes. Everything changes because that team no longer views it as curriculum. That team views it as a purpose being fulfilled.
Yes, sir.
See, that's the big difference. That's why when you come into my schools, do you notice everybody teaches the same?
Everybody in your school is like class A, like great 5 stars, man. It's
Mhm.
crazy.
Well, I have
Your
a Class
staff
A
is just
payroll
amazing.
too, buddy. I have a
What's
Class
that?
A payroll.
Well,
My
yeah,
payroll,
but
my payroll is like a restaurant. My payroll is about 35%.
I mean, TJ Sharp. I mean, everyone that is in your school is like they're all. You don't even know who's the real leader. They're just amazing,
Well, and
all
see
of them.
that culture. See, thank you, Lorenzo. That is really, really good.
Yeah,
I am not creating followers. I'm creating leaders. That
right.
means I have to be confident enough and secure enough in what we're cultivating that I'm not concerned about my ego. I'm the master. I must be better than
Right.
everybody.
Yeah.
That's why, as you said, you don't know who's leading because we're
No.
all leading each other because we flow as one. Again, our culture is one martial arts. We
Right.
are one people. That is why I change in the same room as the team. I don't wear a special uniform with a gold belt.
Right.
I don't walk in the room and trumpet sound. I mean, I'm just another guy like them. So I'm accessible, and that helps
But
improve our
what would you say to
communication.
those schools that don't run that way, where they do have the gold belt and there's that one leader,
Well, yeah,
but they're still
and it is a
successful?
personality. Yeah, I would tell them knock that shit off. And I
Yeah.
know it sounds really ghetto and lame and derogatory, but I don't know what else to say at this point. When
Yeah.
you create this school and it's based upon your ego and you have 50 different degrees that you've made up yourself that no one can really validate, right? And you've got this gold belt that nobody else has with fringes and tassels. And
Right.
when I grew up in the 1960s, when I started martial arts, it was Sifu and it was Sensei.
Right.
I didn't run with the Koreans back then, so I didn't know they used the word master. So
Right.
that never existed for me. I knew the Japanese stylists, they were sensei, and then you had the Chinese stylists, and they were sifu, and
Right.
that was it. And then somewhere in the 80s, all of a sudden, there was the grandmaster. Then there was the super grandmaster. And even now, when you die, I guess you become the eternal grandmaster.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know any
Yeah,
of
so
the
you get a
styles yet.
title when you die. You're
Right.
no longer whatever title you were here on earth, you become the eternal now. Again, that's everyone else's gig. For me, I want to run it with a flatline management like this in my company because as long as we're all in the same boat together, I can make mistakes and my guys won't
Well,
hold my feet to
can
the
I ask
iron.
you a really quick question, Professor?
What?
Because this is relevant since I have Team USA or the head coach with me.
Yeah.
Do you think that being a champion helps your school? Because you were a champion.
Yeah,
You were one of the best fighters on the West Coast in the
yeah,
open circuit.
yeah, and then
So,
back then there were no big tournaments all over the
but
country. We didn't have that money.
but
I was the
let
best in the state.
hold,
No, it doesn't help
hold.
at
Let me
all.
finish my question.
It doesn't. I'm
So
going to tell you. I know where you're going with this.
no,
It
no,
doesn't help at all.
I know it might sound like the same question. It's going to be relevant. I promise. So because you were a really great fighter and you were one of the best on the West Coast, obviously you made your family proud, all that. Do you think that has to do with the way you designed your curriculum? Do you think that the way you fought is a reflection of how effective your curriculum was?
I think my curriculum is a reflection of serving people at the highest level, meeting people where they are at, understanding not everybody trains 6 days a week, 4 hours a day, tournaments every other weekend. Not
Right,
everybody trains to be a tournament champion. As the
right,
saying goes, do they train to be a champion for life? I believe many people do. But here's the downside. I opened my first school when I was 19 years old, and I was a champion, and I
yeah.
had tournaments. So every night was fight night. All
I
I
know.
did
I
was
followed your career, sir. Yes, I know.
yeah, I mean, I opened a school so I could have somebody to train with and beat up on every night. That's all it was. And that school died in 9 months because it
But,
centered around my ego. It centered around my agenda of training and
sir,
being ready for tournaments all the time. Plus,
but
we were fighting in the street too. At that time, when people would say afterwards, you'd have a beer and go, "Hey, how in the hell did you knock me out? That was pretty cool. Teach me how you did that." Nowadays, someone gets a gun and comes back and kills your whole family. So it's a different terrain. You can't get into physical fights today. You can't, especially you being a school owner. You get sued, you go to jail, you're supposed to know better, on and on. Or if they beat you up, then you look even worse. So I think what people need to determine is what is their version of success. You want to be an Olympic champion in karate, rock and roll. You should be a champion in Olympic karate. Who am I to say? It's what works for you. I'm going to tell you, though, if you want to run a successful martial arts business, it does not matter. There's not a single trophy in my school. Nobody knows I was a champion or anything. It's all irrelevant.
sir, real fast. None of that matters. We all know that. You've proven that. I'm
To
saying
me, only to me, not only to me and my
right,
martial arts.
but
For
what I'm
other
saying is
people, it
the
matters greatly.
knowledge of the ring that you fought and the street fights you've been in. Don't you think that's some relevance to the knowledge you've had to create a curriculum that's amazing?
Yeah. I think number one in my curriculum is keep your hands up. That's it. I mean, it's not rocket science. If you want to talk philosophically, yes.
I mean,
Philosophically,
I guess what I'm
everything I
saying is
learned. through my 20 plus
you
years
know
of
the
fighting.
extremes of both ends, right? Like, you know the extremes of both ends, where
I
you know
do.
what it's like to fight the best of the country and the world, and then, but because you know you have that knowledge, you were able to design that curriculum to create a beautiful culture.
Yeah.
And then,
And that's why
you
the
know,
average person in that black belt testing a couple of weeks ago was 8 months. I mean, 8 years. And people go, wow, 8 years to a black belt? God,
no,
man, I can do it in 2 years in Taekwondo. Fast is not necessarily better. You earn that belt when you're ready. We have a minimum of 4 to 5 years. Most people take 8, and I'm good with that. I'm
no,
good.
but sir, I'm saying, do you think the knowledge of you fighting all those years helped
Yeah,
develop your curriculum?
absolutely.
And so, what would you say to the school owners that did go through, you know, what?
Oh, we lost them, Marco. What I would say to them is hire me as your consultant and we'll redo your curriculum. That's what I say, right? That's what I say to that. Hey, Marco, do we have somebody else to bring on? We were starting to go around in circles in that. I get it. And see, I think the reason I become so kind of like edgy about that, because I don't want to live in the past. I never want to live in the past. And it's so funny because a lot of people look at me as a business person and they have no freaking idea that I was a state champion. That I was at the time we didn't have tournaments all over the country and stuff. I was the best of the best at that time in my age, weight class, and all the rest. But who cares? Who gives a shit? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. You know, um, Unfortunately, our industry, they do. So if you want to know about me historically, talk to Lorenzo. He dug up all this stuff on my family, and who we are, but who cares? All that matters today is, can I take care of my family? Can I take care of my team? Do I impact the community? Do I give back? Do I serve? That's really what matters most. That's what matters most. It just matters most. And I say that with my heart and soul, because I don't want to sit there and go, back in the day. I want to do that. I definitely don't want to do that. Ever, ever, ever. Cool. Hey, Marco, we got anybody else to bring on? The internet was bad. That's okay, Lorenzo. That's okay. He says his internet was bad. Do we have anyone else, Marco? Share it with me, please. So I just want to say that because, that's always a big debate, curriculum, curriculum, curriculum. Everything I've learned in life of 35 years of owning various small businesses, the past 22, 23 years now of owning martial arts schools successfully, right? Successfully. I'm not some guy who's just popping out of the work going, I'm a consultant. I'll get you 30 new students, right? Yeah, every day starts at 0. I agree with you 1,000%. That's all I got. Because anytime I'm sitting there living in the past, I'm going to suffer from depression. Because there's things about my past I would love to change. I can't change them. Can I change the fact I was a champion? No. Am I going to sit there and let it occupy my headspace and all of my energy and my actionable steps today? No. Easy would be to climb on my little high horse and go, how dare you talk to me that way? Oh, 18-year-old employee, I'm so and so. We're legendary. You don't care. But if I can reach that 18-year-old team member and inspire them to teach better, inspire them to want to be a martial arts instructor, to inspire them to get our curriculum, like Lorenzo said, all you guys get it. That's where I spend my time and energy. If I start singing the back in the day song with my team, they don't care. They don't care. I don't need that validation. I need results. And I can only do that by having a very clear purpose, very clear core values, very clear brand absolutes, very clear systems of procedures, right, of processes, and the constant training and retraining and implementation of those SOPs. That's it. That is it. And then we rewrite them again and again. We're revamping curriculum now. We're redoing SOPs now. Cool? All right, so let's bring on the next guy. I've got about 10 more minutes, Marco. Then I need to bounce. Bring him in.
Hey, Professor.
Hey, what's happening, sir?
How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good and I'm grateful. Just, negotiating this thing called life, just feeling good. I've had an amazing week. It culminated yesterday with that event. Like I shared, I got paid $1,500 for doing a school assembly. How often does that happen? James is getting $2,500 for a women's self-defense thing. How often do we hear that? We don't,
Right.
We just don't, because we believe we should grovel, and be lucky if they let us come in. No, I mean, you're an authority on what you do. And if you have that confidence and you're always investing in yourself, school owners, making that investment, like coming out to It's Time, you're confident when you say, this is my price and I'll come do what I do. So what's your question, sir?
Really, I just wanted to kind of ask. I mean, you've done it so well for us, helped us cultivate this. Is cultivating our unique message. Just want to kind of hear your thoughts on that and share. Maybe somebody listening can get a little more. I know every time you talk about it, I get a little nugget about that, about how everywhere from our brand to our purpose and how we write a social media post, how we
Mhm.
use an
Mhm.
image to do that, not only just in social media, but on our website and on our printed material, all of that. Just your kind of thoughts on that, what you're seeing as
Absolutely. Absolutely.
as we cultivate that
Yeah.
moving forward and everything.
Well, I think success leaves clues. And if you had to think tech companies, what's the first company off the top of your head?
Apple.
Apple. Today their stock is $173. I made $24,000 today off Apple. When's the last time anybody in our industry has made $24,000 in one day for doing nothing?
Very true.
Yeah. I used to make $24,000 a year. A year. Now, I know that sounds like I'm bragging. It sounds like I'm boasting, but what I'm sharing with you is right now, the tech industry is getting decimated. Meta is being pounded. Amazon is being pounded. Google is being pounded. Microsoft is being pounded. None of them are showing the resilience and sustainability that Apple is showing right now in the tech industry. So there's a huge piece of success. Study Apple. Study Apple inside and out. Read everything on Steve Jobs. Some of it's crazy. It won't fit. Like Bruce Lee said, take what you need and discard the rest. But there is some, you want to talk about nuggets? Somebody turned me on to Steve Jobs' emails, his freaking emails that he sent inside. That's how brilliant. I can sit there and watch an email from Steve Jobs to somebody on his team and get nuggets. See, because when they kicked Steve Jobs out of his company, right? The second coming of Steve Jobs, he recognized we did not have a why. We did not have that culture. So I think the biggest thing is why. Why do I want to come to you versus Joe Karate down the street? And you've heard me sing this song. If you have a silhouette of somebody kicking and you call yourself Family Martial Arts Center, you're screwed. You're just, it's much like that post that you took down. That is the problem with our industry. We're lazy in the areas of our business where we need to be more attentive. Why would anybody post something so vulnerable as I'm stressed out and I suffer anxiety from running a small business? It was almost like to me, it was like a victim mindset. Have sympathy for me. Be nice to me because I'm a small business and I have stress. You know what? We all do. And the yin to the yang of that, I think you're minimalizing people's stress and anxiety who has a regular 9 to 5 job by us taking a position like that. If anything, we segregate ourselves from everybody else as if we're somebody special because we have special stress because we run a small business. Hey, it was our choice. When you chose to leave your job finally, that was your choice. Correct?
Right.
There you go. So I think that's one of the big things we suffer through is we don't see the value of branding. We don't see the value of cultivating a why or a purpose. Even worse, it's trendy because Simon Sinek said, know your why. So everybody's out there talking why for one reason and one reason only. They believe it will get them more students. See, the reason they hired me yesterday, Jason, to do that event at $1,500 is because I'm not trying to get leads. I sit there and I cultivate products that I believe would generally help people live their best life, much like the birthday party. We don't use birthday parties to get leads. Thus, $750 we get for. I'm doing one tomorrow, $750. See, so I believe what you need to do is look for information outside our industry. Brands that you align with. I don't care if it's Costco, Amazon, whoever. If you know a brand that you love and value a lot, invest in learning about them. Because what's wonderful, and I share this passionately, the information I offer transcends into Meta, transcends into Stanford Healthcare, transcends into Lululemon, transcends into the Center of Entrepreneurship at San Francisco City College, and of course, across the martial arts industry. If that's not enough data for people to know that this is probably some good learning, then I don't know what else to say. And we suffer from that. That's why a huge component of my work that you experienced was mastering not only your why and your brand and your message, it was your personal mindset, right?
Right.
Yeah, your personal mindset is huge because you're your own boss, sir. You can wake up every day and sit down on the couch and watch Cheetos and watch reruns of Games of Thrones until it's time to teach. Then go into that school and, try to groom and pick up on a 15-year-old girl, and then after go sit in a bar and mess around on your wife. That happens every day in every industry, right? Including ours.
Right.
Right? Happened at my son's middle school. Some trusted middle school teacher had been grooming kids since 2007 or something horrid. So I believe managing our personal mindset and really figuring out what our core values are and really going deep is people. It's not glamorous. You know that it wasn't glamorous work, sir. But the
No, it was
results,
not.
but the results it's yielding you today, these are the most students you've ever had without the dance studio and all the rest, correct?
Yes,
And
sir.
better than that, you are generating more revenue per month than you ever have, correct?
Correct.
And you were able to leave your day job, correct?
Correct.
So how lucky are you?
Very,
Yeah.
very lucky.
And if you keep utilizing that energy and keep heading down that path, I just see more and more success, sir. But it wasn't easy, was it? This has been what, a 3-4 year project? From the time
Yes,
you
sir.
and I really started working together. Yeah. Hello,
Yes, sir.
I have a question about advertising. A 1 week summer program. The program is not generating enough traction. When do you decide to close? Okay, well, there's two thoughts. So one, I would never do 1 week of camp, ever, because it's not what a parent needs. The working parent needs 10 weeks of camp. And if you're doing it simply to generate revenue, then you'll fail. You'll fail miserably. You need to create a day camp program that genuinely serves the community, kid-approved themes, the whole 9 yards. This sounds to me, I'm doing 1 week because I need filler. I need to make additional revenue for the summer. And correct me if I'm wrong. This is what it sounds like. It may not be what it is. That's your problem right there. You can't just run a bunch of ads, which is the digital marketers would tell you, and all of a sudden have 36 kids for your day camp. Hi, guys. Virginia here. Hey, what's up, Virginia? Journey Martial Arts, right? You can't do that. And that's the problem with birthday parties. That's the problem with events like yesterday. Everything you do is just about generating leads. And Jason, tell them what I think about that.
Yeah, it's not about leads, it's about relationships. Yeah. And you're not going to build a relationship off of 1 week.
Yes, sir. And you're not. Thank you. Hi. I want to date you for a week, and that's all I need. I got 1 week here opened, because my girlfriend's on vacation here, and she's coming back here, right? My regular students. So I got 1 week here. So who wants to date me for a week? It's ludicrous when you put it in that terms. But if we think relationships, we have a day camp that's been around 20 years in San Francisco, 9 years in Millbrae. It's 90% booked, and the average ticket is $400 a week. That's a lot. That's a lot, right? But we take that time to earn that trust. We take that time, we forego the instant I need to fill a week mentality to really going in there and saying, no, I'm more our values, our culture, our why of living your best life will only advocate, cultivate, perpetuate relationships that have the potential for long term. How long have you and I been friends now, Jason? Beyond our working.
Beyond that, well, I mean, I would trace. Yeah, it's been a long time. I would trace it all the way back from Harvard, all the way back to Harvard. A little bit before then, but that was really whenever we really
Ask
spent the
Marco,
time to
who's on the
connect.
other end of the broadcast. I love you guys. I'm not going to get into relationships with people I don't want to hang out with. I just don't. Life is precious. Life means so much. And the people that are in our lives is what makes it worth living. It's what makes it valuable. So why would you not do that in your school? Oh, because I simply want 10 new students. Yeah, I can't wait, sir, because things are in place for you. I'm really excited, to hear these numbers. May not be as grand as somebody else's numbers, but they're your numbers, and you're at the highest level of success and profitability you've ever been. Would you agree?
Yes, sir.
You have a wonderful brand. You have an amazing team. You have a great message. Your social media posts are strong, and you just watch. You got fertile soil. You got good crop. It's ready. It's ready to come to fruition. It is. I'm
Yes,
excited.
sir.
All right, I got to get out of here. I got to move on to the next one, sir. I appreciate you.
Okay. Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir. Thank
Appreciate
you.
you.
Thank you. How long is the camp each day, please? Our camps run from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. This, I'm going to squeeze it in between 9 and 3 because I'm using the floor. I need it for classes at 3 o'clock. Is not cool. Who needs you? The working parent. Who needs you? The working parent. Again, who needs you? The working parent. So reasonably 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., please. Please, please, please. They only wanted a martial arts week, but their group is not signing up. They? Who's they? They wanted one specialized week of martial arts. I don't recommend a specialized camp. I recommend a kid-approved theme camp with dodgeball, Legos, arts and crafts, park time. We don't do field trips or anything. And of course, martial arts basis and life skills learning. Those two are powerful for what you do. I would ask you to reconsider that and really think about developing a long-term camp if that's what you believe fits your culture. Because it's going to take time to grow it. My first year of summer day camp back in 2001 was me and 7 kids for 10 freaking weeks. I kid you not. And somebody would come in at 3 o'clock and we would pull that curtain. Somebody would be taking them on the back half of the mat with Legos and stuff. I'd be on this end of the mat teaching classes. But make no mistake, I was not going to cancel that camp. So if you have this camp and you have 2 or 3 kids booked, you run that camp like you got 100 kids. Give them the best freaking camp, because if you cancel on them, they will never come back to you and they will never tell anybody about your camp. And what are they going to possibly say good about your camp? They canceled it because they didn't have enough people participating. You with me? So yeah, I sucked it up that first year, but I made it the best camp. I stood there and I ran that camp like I had 1,000 kids and I was making $1 million in that camp. It's the mindset. See, you're canceling for lack of participation. I look the other way. I'm grateful I have 3 campers, right? You see, you feel me? You feel where I'm going with this? And I would have never started this camp based upon a group saying, can you do a 1-week martial arts camp? And then they bail on you and don't sign up. If that's not a clear indication, that's the wrong way to lay the foundation for a successful culture-based program in your school that lives and breathes and acts from your why. Then I don't know what to say with that. Cool. All right, man. So I want to thank our sponsors. Marco, let's do that because I got to get out of here a little early today. I want to thank Tusai. I want to thank Market Muscles, my studio, Kids Love Life Skills, and of course, LC Accounting. You guys need to come join me in August. Please come join me, right? I know with all heart and soul the information I will offer you. Talk to Jason Smith, talk to Virginia, talk to Marco, talk to James, talk to all. James, $2,500 for a 2-hour women's self-defense class. You're a badass, right? Talk to these people that have come to its time. It is a huge investment. Somebody asked me that. I could go to this event for $199. Why is yours so much more expensive? Because I have data. I have 35 years worth of proven data of running small businesses. I am a 3rd-generation small business owner. I have success stories that are you, the small school owner. So Marco, flash up It's Time Life Balance. That's going to be August 12th through 15th, right here in Millbrae, California, 5 minutes from SFO. We only have 20 spots for the 4-day, and they're starting to book up. 4 days with me. We go out into nature. We journal a lot. We eat really, really good. Really good. And we take care of the food. You eat really freaking good. And that happens. We also, it's just such an amazing networking event. But it is a journey into personal development of self-discovery. And yeah, you'll get curriculum development, staff training, and all that industry standard stuff that we do need. because it's the foundation of any great martial arts business. But it is that thing, that disruptive thing I put on top of all of that, that makes it unlike anything out there. Spend 4 days with me. You could come for 2 or you can come for 1. Make the investment, close your school, do what you got to do for 4 days. Be here for It's Time Live Balance. Cool? All right. Hey, anybody that got It's Time Live Boston, we've got it cut up, the virtual thing. We're going to post it. If you want that information, it will be there. You could buy it at brannonblisa.com. Just look under the store. It will be available for purchase for It's Time Live Boston. A lot of great information, a lot of great people. Cool? All right. Hey, I am Brannon Blisa. If you're a school owner that wants to come join us on the show, let Marco know. We're going to book you out for the weeks to come. All right, all right. I'm Brannon Blisa. This is Success Never Sleeps. Until we talk again, what are you going to go out there and do? Live your best life.